Well, hello to everybody on YouTube, and I'm back in my shed. I'm BC, and I'm setting up to do some very simple mundane grinding. This time it's a couple of centre punches that I've brutalised on hard material, and I prefer to grind them reasonably accurately into a fairly good finish. You get a much better life that way. And I thought I'd give a bit of a talk on the two main types of centre punches, and then we'll zoom in and do the grinding bit. This is what I would call a true centre punch. It has 90 degrees included angle on the point. It's reasonably tough material but not hard, and I would use that where I want to expand a prick punch mark that I've put in fairly accurately and make it bigger for a drill to catch in. The other type of centre punch is like this little Starrett fellow here. I've got to say, Starrett tools are bloody good stuff. And this is what I would call a toolmaker's prick punch. It's got a 60 degree included angle, very, very small point on it. And this is mainly used for drawing along one layout line, and you'll feel it click or drop into the perpendicular layout line. You then lift it up to perpendicular and a tap with a small hammer, and that will start you within a thou of where you want to be. And then you can come in, if you need it, with a larger centre punch with a 90 degree included angle and expand the centre pop mark for the drill to start in. So that's one little layout trick. These little fellows are beautiful, and I see the occasional Starrett tool or other good American tools. I've got some planar shaper gauges, etc. come up on eBay, and on eBay America there is just a horde of good second-hand tools at a reasonable price. And once again, I'll urge you, if you want that sort of item, to start an account with Ship It to Me from America. It costs you $10 per month to have a USA postal address, and they will consolidate all of your parcels for up to 3 months and then ship it to you on DHL at about 70% off regular price. Makes buying tools in America and getting them here very cheap and worthwhile. You get good gear at a good price. Now later this morning I'll be regrinding this centre punch. It has a 60 degree included point, and it's a little bit big for a prick punch, but that's how it came from the manufacturer. It says in here USA number 244, but all they put on there is vanadium and no maker's brand. It has been reasonable. These two have been in my toolkit for many years, and I think this is the second time I'm grinding them. The first time I brutalised them on the bench grinder, but I'll do it properly now. But that little Starrett prick punch is very difficult to beat. This is another very handy device to have in your toolkit, an open frame protractor. You can use it for checking angles on points like this or setting up tools. Pretty dear, I think they're about $68, but they're an excellent metal workers protractor. I quite like them. Now I'm going to be doing a few videos on grinding tools on the tool and cutter grinder, and that's a little toolmaker's vise, 1 inch across the jaws or a bit over 25mm, and I think from memory about $40 off Fleabay. It's not the most accurate Herman Schmidt vise, but for doing brazed carbide tools or accurately grinding high-speed steel tools, it gives a good grip, very small compact size, and you can clamp it to whatever you want. And I'll be remachining this in the future. This was originally a toolmaker's universal vise base to use on this Clarkson grinder. It has an angle scale here and here, so it's fairly universal, and I will machine off the spigot and put a mounting plate so I can mount that little vise or other devices on there. But that is a very well made item, and also very easy to duplicate. After all, it's not the scale that has to be accurate, it's the number of axes you can build into the tool that's important. Here's another little goodie from eBay. It's a setup block. It's got a vernier scale there for seconds, also on the angles, but you would need better eyesight than I've got for there. I'd need a magnifier to set it that accurate. But to me, being able to set up like that and then clamp, where you can lock this up so it's set at that angle to clamp to either face, then clamp that to a universal table, and I think that was about $55. Very, very well made for something cheap out of Asia. The faces have all been ground very well, but if you're fiddly and you want exact tool angles, this is the sort of item you have to buy to get it done. The old protractor has its days, but it's difficult to set up. This makes it so much easier. Okay, now for some grinding time, and yes, we're back to that noisy little machine. You'll see a few sparks coming off as I grind this counterthink. As you can see by another power. Notice the very short sparks, which is very good hard piece of tool steel. So there'd be a bit of manganese in there to make it spark like that. And I'm just rotating the workhead by hand, nothing fancy. Come back out, put another towel on. A little bit of damage there. I must have whacked it pretty hard, that's nice. Now we're getting a little closer. I think this will be the last one. Okay, zoom back out a little bit. Now at home, the secret to the ability of doing this sort of work is a reasonable workhead. That's the original Clarkson workhead. It's only plain bearing, cast iron housing, bronze bushes, and that's a purchase, not shop built, ER32 chuck, which means I use the same collets for the milling cutters as well as for grinding, although I'll be getting a separate set later on. The beauty of this is it has a 25mm plain shank, that's 150 long. Now that was a flea bay purchase, I think $70, and it's beautiful because it went straight into the Clarkson head that was set up at 25mm through. But this sort of thing can be made, and don't panic about the accuracy because it doesn't matter a rat's bottom. As long as there's not much slop in the tool, you have a rotating axis. And for work like this, this is all that you really need. For sharpening cutters, it's all that you really need. You can rotate it, you can index off the front or index off the back here. The actual tool and cutter grinder produces the linear movement. In the sharpened tools, all you need is a rotary movement on the head, preferably the ability to change your angle here on the workhead or change the angle on the wheel head. Linear movement, you're sharpening tools. It's not that difficult. Okay, all for now. I'll stop writing and please like and subscribe. If you thought I'd wasted your time enough, well, as I was grinding a second centre punch, I thought I'd bring in on that as well. Same old story. Just wind in by a thou at a time. And this fella's well off better. Wasn't too good by hand the last time. There's a very good finish coming out of the tool. It's only a 60 grit wheel. It was a fair way, about 5 or 6 hour setup. Not bad for hand grinding, but awful for the job. That's getting very close to done now. Still see a little bit of a fault there. Another foul or so. Still more. Yep, that's good enough. And now that the noise is over, there's a YouTube channel DEE space DEE. He's a retired American Navy toolmaker, and I've just watched one of his videos this morning, and at about the 9th minute he's got a very good articulated tool holder that he's built himself out of spares and one of these collet chucks. A little bit of a visionary. He shows some very, very intricate and accurate tool grinding, so I'll try and put a link down below. Watch it, just you have a look at his if you like this video. Okay, bye for now.